Hi everyone, my name is J. Rose Darunday. So for today, I will discuss to you guys about security in general. So security defined as a quality of being safe, secured, freedom from fear or danger, assurance or certainty. So necessity of security. Security measures are inevitable or necessary for the attainment of the goals and objectives of a certain individual, groups, or organization. It follows that when an individual or organization is exposed to hazards, their productivity is adversely affected. The economic growth of the Philippines, for instance, is moving at a turtle pace because of the impending internal and external threat. Internal threat, so when we say internal threat, it refers to the risk of somebody from the inside of a company who could exploit a system in a way to cause damage or steal data. And external threat includes the country's incapability to defend itself in a case of war. So, for example, you defend your own country from the threat they receive from the other countries. So, next is the role of the Philippine National Police or PNP and other government law enforcement agencies. Industrial security is an indispensable part of the Philippine economy because it serves as a partner of law enforcement agencies in the country such as the PNP with its supervision, control and training, and operations of security agencies, and in the issuance of license to operate and the license to practice the security profession. So next, hazards. So hazards refers to the conditions that may cause damage to property, injury, and loss of life. So hazard is the potential for harm or any adverse effect. For example, the people as health effects to organization, as a property or equipment losses, or to the environment. Republic Act 5487, considering the significance of providing security to industries, the Philippine legislative body enacted this act governing the organization and management of private security agency, company guards forces, and government security forces. So, fundamentals of industrial security management. First is industry. The term denotes concept of applications to work or business or a special branch of productive workers or the capital or workers employed in it. For example, if you're planning on having a job, you must pick a specific position to know your function in the company. Next is industrial. This is defined as pertaining, engaged in industry, and or of industry, workforce, or relating to or involving workers in industry. For example of this is in which industry you belong. Example of this like showbiz industry, food industry. Next is security. So as I discussed earlier, this means freedom from fear or danger. Next is management. These terms means the skillful use of means to accomplish a purpose. For example, the management are the one who manage or control the plan within the company. Industrial security, the term may mean security measures applied to business industries or the business providing security and protection to private individuals, business enterprises, or government and non-government industries. Example, to protect each individual inside or outside in the company. Next is industrial security management. Is a continuous process to maintain the safety and security of industrial control system or ICS. The ICS is the surefire security umbrella that includes all sorts of security system, and components such as human resource security, safety measures, and regular report. Next is security and safety measures. The security of any business establishment today is a complex process. Security work involves active and passive measures, so those effective defense can be established against crime. So active measures are the physical barriers, security lighting, safe and bolts, locks, and other devices and gadgets designed to detect and impede hazard. So passive measures are those that will determine from committing such as acts for fear of being caught or charged in court or get dismissed. It refers to security education in security personnel, learning to someone or to a personnel. These are the examples of passive measures: security education programs, security investigation, fire prevention seminars, safety drills, and personal security checks. Next is types of security. In the field of industrial security, various types of security are applied depending on the installation and the security as needs of the installation. These types of security are the following. The first one is physical security. Physical security is the broadest branch of security security, which is concerned with the physical measures adopted to prevent unauthorized access to equipment, facilities, materials, and documents, and to safeguard them against espionage, sabotage, damage, and theft. Example of these are locks, fencing, gates, etc. So, communication security is the prevention of unauthorized access to telecommunications traffic or to any written information that is transmitted or transferred. There are several ComSec disciplines including cryptographic security, encrypts data and renders in the unreadable until the data is decrypted. Transmission security or TransSec is the process of security data transmissions from being infiltrated, exploited, and intercepted by an individual, application, or device. TransSec secures data as it travels over a communication medium. So next is cryptographic security, result from provisions of technically encrypted system and their proper use. Next is physical security, providing a safeguard to equipment and materials from access by an authorized person. So number 3, hotel security. It refers to the protection of assets, guests, personal effects, and other properties in hotels, inns, and other similar establishment. So sa hotel security, kailangan sa mga hotel kailangan jud nag-security kay para ma-ensure ang safety sa mga sa mga guests o para ma-secure ang mga tao na mosulod ana nga hotel. Next is bank security, a specialized type of physical security protecting the assets, personnel, and operation of a bank with a special emphasis on the precaution and measures to safeguard the cash and assets while the storage, in transit, and during transaction. So, sa mga bangko, kailangan dyan na og security kay nadira ang mga kwarta, doolonon kay na og mga kuan, kanang mga void og mga hold-upper. So, tanan tao na mosulod sa sa isa ka bangko kay ginascan gyud na para iwas ng kanang mga hostage taking gud nga mahitabo. So, document security, it is the physical security involving the protection of documents and classified papers from lost access by an authorized person, damage, theft, and compromise through disclosure. So, document security, ang kailangan code of security ang mga documents. Kay importante man na siya like sa kanang dapat ang may access katulang mga authorized person dili tong mga unauthorized. So, personal security, this involves the protection of personnel, especially ranking officials from harm, kidnap, and other acts. So, VIP or very important people, security is a type of personal security. So, like sa to ang katudjong mga VIP like sa tong president. So, nadyo na sila yung mga personal security para maiwasan ni ang katong mga tao nga nagabalak din sa iya nga naibuhaton ni di maayo. So, next is crisis security. This is a part of VIP security involved in hostage and kidnapping of VIPs. So, example is kanang sa bangko na yung mga hostage. Tapos, katong mga security guard or mga law enforcement, mag-isip na sila og plano para ma-solve na nakuan na walay maapektuhan ng mga inosente gani nga tao. Next is industrial security. This is a type of security applied to business groups engaged in industries like manufacturing, assembling, research and development, processing, warehousing, and even agriculture. Operational security, this is a type of security that deals primarily with the protection of processes, formula, patent, and other industrial and manufacturing activities from espionage, infiltration, loss, compromise, or photocopying. Other special types of security. First is air cargo security. This is applied to minimize, if not prevent, losses of cargo during in transit, storage, or transfer. So, katong mga baggage na nasa airport, kailangan to siya security para dili mga wala o iwas na lang pod sa legal activities.
School?
Next is school security. This is applied response to the increase of violent crimes committed against students and school personnel and school properties. So, ang school, kailangan dyan na siya og kanang security para malikay ang mga bata sa violence o bullying and para malayo sila sa kanang mga illegal activities. Next, supermarket security. This is applied in response to mushrooming, marts, supermalls, and the like. Next is personal security. This involved in the background checks of individual commensurate with the security requirements of their work. This also includes of an organization of business establishment. So, kung mag-apply kag trabaho sa personal, kung mag-apply kag trabaho, gina-check nila ang imuhang background mo ni siyang personal security. Next is major divisions of industrial security. In providing security and protection to industrial establishment, security and protective measures are focused of the following major divisions. First is physical security. As I discussed earlier, this is the broadest type of security. Then, as the major division of industrial security, it can be defined as those measures taken prevent physical access or entry to an installation or any by unauthorized personnel. So, next is personal security, and as I described earlier, this division of security is applied to check the background of persons as well as the protection of company personnel against potential harmful acts or conditions. The next, document and information security. This includes every measure designed to safeguard company documents from unintentional or intentional harmful acts or against unauthorized disclosure of the information contained therein. Principles of physical security. In every establishment, physical measures are needed to deny unauthorized access or intrusion because of the following. The first is enemy agents must access. So, enemy agents must have access. In most cases of espionage, acquisition of information is the ultimate result, and the means and form in which the information is obtained is merely an operational detail. Normally, information on tape and film is as usable as the original documents. Second is there is no impenetrable barrier. Taking into account another principle, this being that there is no such thing as an impenetrable barrier. If an organization bases its security system on a single layer such as a strong physical perimeter, this can be overcome, thereby learning any assets or including personnel vulnerable to adversarial action. Third is surreptitious versus non-surreptitious entry. The possibility of surreptitious entry is the greatest hazard from standpoint of counterintelligence security because it is usually difficult to determine that the information has been compromised. So kani siya kay lisod may balan if naay makasulod sa establishment kay ang surreptitious manggod kay patago na pagsulod gani ana. Fourth is each installation is different. Since each installation is different, each will have different problems to overcome. The security procedures will not be adequate for all installations. So, tanan physical security is have a different installation and maka-face taog different problems. So, next is barrier. So, barriers. When we say barriers, harang. Barriers refers to any physical structures, whether natural or man-made, capable of restriction, deterring, delaying or preventing illegal and unauthorized access to installation. So, two general types of physical security barriers. First is natural barrier. So, example aning kuan, these are offered by nature which could obstruct or delay the passageway of potential intruders. So, mga example ani kay kaning mga high cliff, mga volcano, desert, or the body of water. Then, next is man-made barrier. So, there are structural constructions like fences, walls, gates, grills, bars, floors, roadblocks, or other physical means to deter or impede penetration. Then, letter D, so specific type of physical security barriers. So, natay 5 kabuok. First is natural barrier. So, kato na akong gingon to mga high cliff, volcano, muna siya. Ang structural barrier, katong mga walls, mga doors. Then, ang human barrier is kanang mga in charge sa headquarters. Pwede po mga like kanang mga law enforcement, security guard. Then, ang animal barrier, kanang mga dogs, nang ginabutang na to sa tumbalay. Then, ang energy barrier is kanang electronic devices or mga suga. Kung baga sa kung sangit-ngit, kailangan butangan na itong suga para kanang iwas ta sa mga kanang kung mag-agi-agi tag-ngit-ngit naman dyan malikayan na dyan mga taong buhat og dautan. Gito na. Kailangan na siya suga. Pwede po ka ng CCTV, mga ingana. Good. So, levels of physical security. So, the first is minimum security. Ang example ani is kanang manirado tagkuan door sa balay mo nang minimum. Then ang low level of security is kanang sa mga sari-sari store nagabutang taog kanang mga locks mo nang low level of security. Then ang medium security is designed to impede and detect and access most external activity and some unauthorized internal activity that range from simple shoplifting to conspiracy to commit sabotage. This includes the use of advanced intrusion alarm system, establishment of perimeter barriers, and letter C, use of an armed guard. Then next, high level of security designed to impede, detect, and assets most unauthorized external and internal activities of certain prisons, defense contractor, pharmaceutical companies, and sophisticated electronic manufacturer. This includes the utilization of the following. Letter A, closed circuit television or CCTV, perimeter alarm barrier, high trained armed guards, high security lighting, mga dagko nga suga, high trained armed guards, control design, and coordination with local law enforcement agencies. So naay nagpatrolya na nga establishment. Then 5 is maximum security includes the application of the following. Letter A, sophisticated alarm system, on-site response force. So, like kanan sa Malacanang na ay nadira ang presidente, so kailangan na siya natira protektahan ng maximum security. Letter A, concept of perimeter barrier. So, ang concept of perimeter barrier. So, ang physical barrier na imong gigamit para ma-prevent kung naay mahitabo na pagpangawat. So, line of physical defense. So, security managers and security personnel also consider the various line of defense that could help, delay, or stop intruders. There are first line includes all perimeter barrier. Second line includes the building exterior. Third line includes the internal control measures. So, kanin diri aning line of physical defense. First line is example ani kanang sa gate. Ang second line kanang sa door. Then ang kaning third line is kanang mga kanang mga bolts. Kung dato ka na mga bolts. Sa to mga cabinets nga kung asa nato ginabutang ang atong mga mga kayamanan kuno ana. So, perimeter barrier openings. In determining the appropriate perimeter barriers, security manager should not overlook the necessity of monitoring perimeter opening that could be used by intruders. These openings are first, gates and doors should also have guards or lock as much as possible. So always lock your doors. Kaya anytime naay ka ng mga magmaoy, like kanapin mo ng mangawat. Then number 2, windows and similar openings should also be guarded, or grills should be installed so as not to be used by intruders. Whenever possible, windows and opening less than 18 feet above the ground, roofs, and ledge, or less than 14 feet directly or diagonally opposite uncontrolled windows in other walls, fire escapes, or other openings of 96 square inches or larger should be grilled or have street bar protections. Number 3, sidewalks, elevator are elevated part of the land and near the perimeter barrier that provides access to areas within the perimeter barriers and should be locked and guarded. Number 4, utilize openings such as sewers, air intakes, exhaust tunnels which penetrate the barriers and which have cross-sectional area 96 square inches or more should protected by bars, grills, etc. Number 5, clean zone is an unobstructed are maintained on both sides of the perimeter barrier as a clear zone of 20 feet or more is desirable between the barrier and extensions, structure, and natural covers which may provide concealment or assistance to person seeking unauthorized entry. So letter B. Types of perimeter barrier. First is fences, solid paning fences kanang full view like wire fences. It is visible Then solid, like mga bricks or bato, siminto, ana. Then building walls, like kanang mga walls, doors, roofs, ana. Letter E, additional protective measures. First is top guard. An additional overhang or barbed wire placed on vertical perimeter fences facing upward and outward with a 45-degree angle to 4 stands of barbed wire spaced 6 inches apart. This will increase the protective light and prevent easy access. So, kaning top guard ka na sa mga kanang barbed wire gani na. The number 2, guard control station are normally provided at main perimeter entrances to secure area located all the doors and manned by guards on a full-time boss. So, kaning guard control stations, wala ni siya guard house na kanang station siya nga kanang murag ma-monitor ganin niya tanan tong area murag naa siya kanang. Next is tower or guard. Towers are house-like structures above the perimeter barriers. It gives a psychological effect to violators. So tower or guard mo ni siyang katong kanang sa prisuan murag may balay-balay sa taas ba nga kanang para mabantayan niya to tanan to murag nagamo na sila naga-monitor para dali lang na masakpan if katong mga piniriso gani na ginabuhat mao or manakas ana good. Then number 4, signs and notice or control signs should be erected where necessary in the management of unauthorized and preclude accidental entry. It includes entry 10 prohibited and its classic area signs. F, perimeter guards employed in augmenting the existing perimeter security or perimeter barriers of a certain establishment. The two types of employing perimeter guards are fixed posts. So, fixed post security guards are assigned in a particular place of the compound to guard and watch the area surroundings and so kaning fixed post kay kaning ang guard ani is kanang lang siya naka-assign lang siya sa isa ka area or di siya pwede mo tuyok-tuyok magdiha lang gyud ka ana. Then ang kaning patrol or roving, in this system the security guard is required to walk and go around regularly around the company premises. So kaning patrol or roving pwede na siya maglakaw-lakaw para mag-roving anang area nabay mga kababalagan tabo check niya kung baga sa school pa kanang ginabuhat sa tong guard check din na nila ang bawat room kung napabi nakasaksak na mga like electric fan para iwas sunog ana. Security lightnings or protective lightnings. So a basic concept of security or protective lighting provides a mean of continuing illumination during hours or of darkness, a degree of protection that is maintained during daylight hours. So, pag naingit-ngit nga area, kailangan ta mag-provide og lightning. Basic requirement. First is protective or security lighting needs an installation and facilities depend upon each situation in the areas to be protected. Then second, protective lighting should not be used as psychological deterrent only. Then third is when such lighting provisions are impractical, additional security posts, patrol, sentry dog patrols, or other security means will be necessary. Fourth is protective lighting may be desirable for those sensitive areas or structure within the perimeter which are under specific observation. So, characteristic of protective lighting. Using protective lighting is expensive and it's additional cost to the company or establishment. Therefore, consider the following in planning for protective lighting system. So first is protective lighting usually requires the less intensity than working light except for identification and inspection at authorized portals and in emergency. Second is lightning needed may be vary because each area of installation or facility presents its particular problem based on physical layout, terrain, atmospheric, and climatic conditions, and the protective requirements. Third is the data available from the manufacturers of lightning equipment, which will assist in designing a lightning system. Protective lightning significance to security forces. When properly employed, protective lightning offer the following. First is reduction of the need for security forces. Second is personal protection for forces by reducing the advantage of concealment and surprise for a determined intruder. Third is relieved security forces could be used to better advantages elsewhere.